Pokemon the Indigo Disk has finally arrived, and today we want to fully complete it, and that's a lot of new Pokemon to catch and things to explore. I have two main goals for this run. That's complete the main story, which safe to say Kieran is going to play a big part in, and complete the Pokedex. Hopefully we find some shiny Pokemon on the way, who knows. Let's just get started. So we start off exactly where I left it last time, somewhere in the middle of a shiny hunt. Director Cavill rings us and asks us if we want to be an exchange student to Unova for the Blueberry Academy, and of course we do. We meet the director and he wants us to go based on Carmine's recommendation. Psyduck couldn't be happier to see us leave either. Cheers Psyduck. We arrive at Blueberry Academy, which is basically an underwater school, and we can see Magmar, Torchic, Execute and Blossom already. Pretty sweet. I then get roadblocked as I still have my breeding party together with Turtwigs. Sorry guys, you're staying in your eggs for a long time now. We quickly beat down on the newest Elite Four member, Lacey, showing our true champion strength. We now get to see the terrarium that's actually underwater. Super cool, I know. We get changed into our new outfit and I'm looking dapper, I must say. We get told to meet in the coastal town. So obviously as we go, we need to catch as many Pokemon as we can. So I catch a Pikipek, a Meowstic, a Esper, a Trumbeak, and an Alolan Diglett, and a Comfey. We'll come back to catching more soon. Lucky for us, our first task is to catch an Alolan form, and we already caught one. That was pretty easy. Tracy says we've completed it already, and damn right we did. We're no amateur. Lacey tells us all about barbecues, and I do love me a barbecue. Oh, she means quests. Gotcha. Always thinking with my belly. Our good old friend Carmine gives us a call, and we go to meet her. On the way, it's always a good opportunity to catch everything you see. So on the way back, we catch a Blossom, a Tentacool, a Tentacruel, and an Inkay from the water. On the grass, we catch an Alolan Grimer, a Execute, a Alolan Executor, and a Toucanon. That was a tongue twister. In the Savannah biome, we catch a Trapinch, a Vibrava, a Smeargle, and a Flygon. Let's continue with the story. We arrive at Central Plaza, that's giving me major dance floor vibes, and we meet up with Carmine, and this leads to only one thing. Yep, a battle. A double battle, in fact. I'm totally unprepared team-wise for this, I won't lie, but we will deal with it. Carmine leads with Toucanon and Mightyena, and we lead with Skeledirge and Garganical. A Torch Song nearly takes out Toucanon, and Mightyena sets up a howl, raising its attack and two cannons, as he flame charges Skeledirge for literally nothing. A Stone Edge does a good chunk to Mightyena too. Skeledirge can take out Mightyena with another Torch Song, putting us at a +2 special attack before a Throat Chop from Toucanon really hurts our starter. A Stone Edge though takes out her bird, leaving just two Pokemon left. That's a Scrafty and a Sinistcha. Double Intimidate, I see how you're playing Carmine. She uses Terastallization to Terra here, Sinistcha, but my Skeledirge is pretty over leveled from the looks of it. But her Sinistcha has an Ockerberry, reducing the damage from fire type moves, but we're at a +2 special attack, so that thing goes down easy. Scrafty puts Skeledirge on 1 HP with a crunch, and we dodge a Hammer-On before my trusty starter takes it out. We beat Carmine for the first time. I can see these trainers have definitely stepped up their game quite a lot. And now we meet the new and improved Kieran, who started his own club and is really angry. Totally not our fault, by the way. We meet Drayton, who's one of the strongest trainers here, but we are here now, so that title's gone. We join the BB League as a trial. With BP, we can change our throwing styles too, which is pretty cool, and we get the catching charm. That'll come in super handy for this challenge. I take Carmine back to the door room, and she says we can visit hers. Let's move on. Carmine tells us Kieran is now the BB League new champion. That's great for him, I'm happy for him. And that means we have another champion to add to our challenge runs in the future. Fantastic. We meet all the Elite Four and the champ, and then we vote if I can join. Kieran says it doesn't matter who he faces, he doesn't lose. Well, you do, but I guess we won't talk about that. Something's definitely up with Kieran, but we join the league and let's get started. We have a trial now in each of the 4 zones in the terrarium. I'll start off with Crispin, who's definitely not a fire type sort of guy. In order to challenge the Elite Four, it costs BP, so we spend some to challenge Crispin. But first we need to make a spicy sandwich for him. We gotta battle some trainers to get some ingredients, and I actually failed making the sandwich a few times, but eventually we make the world's spiciest, best looking sandwich, and that's enough to take on our first Elite Four member. His team is mainly fire types with a Chlorophyll Executor, but our team makes pretty short work of him. He does do some damage, taking out about half our team, but that's due to crits mainly. We take down his ace, Terastallized Fire Blaziken, and with that we beat our first Elite Four member. I decided to keep the Elite Four battles super brief so you guys can figure out strategies if you haven't played through them yet, or enjoy them when you do. Okay, it's time to go straight to our second Elite Four member. She's a Steel type specialist, and on the way we do some more catching. We pick up a Alolan Geodude, a Alolan Graveler. We pick up a couple of Tyrogues, a Scraggy and its evolution Scrafty, Horsey and its evolution Seadra, Chinchou and its evolution Lantern, a Rhydon, Cranidos, a fossil Pokemon. I thought it's pretty cool that it's walking around, Chinchino and Minchino. Then we also collect a Golett, a Electric Elekid, and his father watching on in horror behind him, Electabuzz. So now we take on the Elite Four trial of Maris. I might have said that wrong, please do correct me if I did. It's a flying time trial and we have the perfect Pokemon in Koraidon. Let's just say the flight controls take quite a bit of getting used to. Yes, that is me. You might be wondering how I got here. But yeah, we crashed into a mountain or two, but we did pull through, and now it's time for the battle. I have a Skeledirge and good coverage, so I expect it to be a pretty easy one. Ogerpon deals with Dugtrio and Miraidon deals with his Skarmory. Now she has a Reuniclus and Empoleon. Miraidon takes down Empoleon with an Electro Drift pretty easily. Skeledirge's Torch Song takes out Scizor even with an Ockerberry. Miraidon deals with Reuniclus, leaving only her Terastallized Ace left, and that's a Metagross. However, Skeledirge's Torch Song is busted, and with a boosted Torch Song, we take out Metagross, and that's our second Elite Four beaten. Kieran comes to wish us some friendly luck, and by that I mean make sure we're not weaker than him, and only 2 Elite Four members remain. You actually need 200 BP in total to challenge the Elite Four, and we have 0 left, so we need to find another 100 for the remaining Elite Four members. These come from the barbecues we spoke about earlier. By auto-battling, catching, and collecting Pokemon, we can get some more. We also catch a Drillbur, a Minior, a Oddish, and a Vileplume, as well as a Cottony. We've grinded up the remaining 200 BP and then some, and we can now face Miss Lacey, who's giving off fairy type vibes. Her trial is a simple Pokemon quiz, and we pass with flying colours, so now we can battle her. She actually takes out 3 of our Pokemon, and she has a pretty solid Primarina, but Skeledirge takes down Whimsicott to get to a +1 special attack. And now we have Miraidon on the field too. A Thunder makes short work of Primarina, and a +1 boosted Shadow Ball takes down her Galarian Slowbro as well. She has an Excadrill and Alcremie as the last 2 Pokemon. Skeledirge destroys the team basically, and Miraidon, having electric types boosted, takes care of Excadrill, who terastallizes into a fairy type. Skeledirge takes down Alcremie, and with that we take care of our 3rd Elite Four member, leaving only 1 left. On the way we are in an undiscovered biome for us, so it's time to catch some more Pokemon. First up we had a Lapras, a Solasis, a Duosion, and a Reuniclus, a Alcremie, a Seal, and a Dugong to the team. Then we find a Hisuian Quillfish and a Porygon to finish off the decks. With them caught, I challenge our last member, Drayton, the Dragon-type Elite Four member. His trial is pretty unique. We can only use Pokemon caught here in the terrarium against theirs. As you can see, I've caught a fair few Pokemon on our way, so our team demolishes the 3 battles rather quickly, leaving only Drayton left to battle. But I forget to swap to my main team, so we get absolutely obliterated. Let's try that again. So this time it goes a lot better. Our Terastallizer Porygon put in some serious work, and so does Miraidon, taking out Flygon and Dragonite. However, Miraidon then gets frozen by Kingdra, which sucks, but Friendship Mechanic comes in clutch and we 4 out. He does have a Tailwind set up, so Sceptile takes down our Ogerpon before Miraidon's Overheat takes down Sceptile. Kingdra then demolishes my Garganical, and I'm actually in a bit of a pinch here. Thankfully the Tailwind went down, so Roaring Moon takes down Kingdra before Haxorus claims our Miraidon. He now then sends out a brand new evolution, Archelodon, which I'm not a fan of, I will say. I mean, look at it. Roaring Moon finishes off Haxorus now, and it's a 3-on-1. The new Pokemon uses a Flash Cannon to take down our Iron Valiant pretty easily, and now it's a 2-on-1. But a Dragon Claw and a Shadow Ball from our team ends straight on, and we beat all the Elite Four of the Blueberry Academy. There were some super tough battles, and I'll probably make some more challenges of them in the future. With the DLC being fresh, I didn't want to go into too much depth and spoil all the fun now, did I? This, however, is going to go out the window for Kieran, who shows up and wants to settle it with us once and for all. Who is the strongest? I mean, I've beat you several times, but let's do it again if you want. I have a quick test around of the new Synchronize feature too. Honestly, it's pretty weird. Cool, but weird. Might come back to that. We head to the Blueberry Academy entrance and we sign up for our final showdown with Kieran, a championship match. It honestly feels like a super important rival match and I'm all for it. He tells us he did it all to just beat us and the battle begins. I bring out Ogerpon, he really gets riled up and that's a nice little touch from Game Freak. The battle starts off with us terastalizing our Ogerpon, and thanks to our ability and body aspects, we get a speed rise. This allows us to be the fastest Pokemon and hit a boosted Ivy Cudgel on Politoed, landing a critical hit. Kieran then blames luck on our side too. Sorry buddy. Politoed goes down and Miraidon does a big dent in Dragonite with a Power Gem, bringing him to half as a 100% accurate Hurricane demolishes Ogerpon. Kieran then laughs at us. Cheers man. We send out Iron Valiant next and Kieran uses a Porygon Z. Electric Terrain activates our Quark Drive as well. Miraidon then finishes off Dragonite with a super effective Power Gem as his Porygon Z hits an adaptability boosted Life Orbed Hyper Beam to take down Iron Valiant. We're going 1-for-1 with Kieran at the minute. I choose Garganical next as his replacement and Kieran sends out the Fairy type Grimmsnarl. I hit an Electro Drift boosted in Electric Terrain to bring Grimmsnarl down to its focus stash so he hangs on and it consumes it, as Porygon Z must recharge. A Spirit Break hits Miraidon and hurts us, lowering our special attack. A Hammer Arm from Garganical doesn't quite take out Porygon Z though. The next turn with a final Electro Drift, Miraidon picks up the knockout on Porygon Z as Garganical takes his Spirit Break extremely nicely. We hit a Hammer Arm and with that we take down Porygon Z, leaving Kieran with only 2 Pokemon left. Kieran now doesn't understand why we're still standing, and that's because I'm the champ. He sends out Incineroar and Applin's new evolution Hydrapple, and I love it. We get double intimidated and lowers our accuracy thanks to Incineroar and Hydrapple's abilities. Kieran now terastalizes his Hydrapple into a fighting type, and look how awesome it looks with its heads. Incineroar fakes out Miraidon, bringing us below half as an Earth Power from Hydrapple makes quick work of our shiny Garganical. I send out my other absolute powerhouse now, Roaring Moon, for the final showdown. Thanks to our ability and booster energy, Protosynthesis activates, raising our attack. Miraidon's Power Gem brings Incineroar to half and activates its berry, healing him a little bit, as Roaring Moon's Dragon Claw brings Hydrapple low. We take a Brick Break in return from Incineroar, but we don't take it well. Then Hydrapple uses his new signature move, Fickle Beam, bringing Miraidon to a slither, but we hang on. With a Power Gem, we bring Incineroar to the red, and Roaring Moon takes down his ace Hydrapple with a final Dragon Claw. This leaves him with a weakened Incineroar left that Brick Breaks Roaring Moon, and everybody's in the red. With a final Power Gem from our legendary, we take down Incineroar and beat the Blueberry champion Kieran. Honestly, I love this fight. The music, the atmosphere, fantastic. Kieran now goes into some weird trance. He seems to struggle with the idea of people leaving him due to his loss. Drayton's winding him up about it, calling him ex-champ, and the Elite Four try to speak to him. We then all get a message asking us to go to the office, which we do. Here in the office, we get asked to go to Area 0 with Briar and look for the legendary Pokemon Terrapagos. This piques Kieran's interest and I can see how this is going. Jita, the top champion, arrives too, and strong trainers such as ourselves were tasked with going there. Kieran now wants to find the legendary and catch it. Yep, knew it. Jita then gives us the Indigo Disk and off we go. We arrive at Area 0 and we get told there is a deeper part, because of course there is. Kieran's cheering up and obviously enjoying the experience, and we've been tasked to open the gate. We know what happened last time, so I'm kind of prepared. The gates lock, but then it reacts to the Indigo Disk, which gives us access to greater privileges. We head inside and take the elevator. Well, by that I mean a pure white portal. Down we go. Honestly, if this thing got stuck, we're all screwed. We get to the bottom and learn of the new terastallization type Stellar. We then see a strange glowing Glimera, and this is our first encounter with a Stellar type. And oh wow, it actually isn't every type Pokemon. It even has a Terrapagos on its head. A couple of Ivy Cudgels though, and we deal with a wild Glimera really easily, and that destroys the crystals blocking our path. We basically now have a gauntlet of sorts. We keep venturing lower and lower, defeating Stellar type Pokemon, but they really are not that difficult. We finally arrive at the bottom and all our Terra Orbs are glowing like crazy, and Kieran knows it's a hidden treasure and runs off ahead. We chase after him and finally arrive at a massive crystal location, and up ahead we see a tiny little crystal. Kieran tries pulling it out. He still hasn't got over Ogerpon and he's really jealous of us. He pulls on the crystal and eventually it breaks free and the crystal starts glowing and transforms into Terrapagos, the legendary, and it's just a cute little turtle whose first sight is me and starts making its way over. Kieran quickly reacts and master balls him, catching him. Well, that's just cheating, it ain't fair. Now we have to battle Kieran with Terrapagos to show off its strength. Its ability activates and it transforms into its new form. I genuinely thought it'd be a lot bigger than it is, and it doesn't let us terastallize. That's not fair. I'm still unsure of its typing and he takes down Ogerpon pretty easily. I send out Miraidon though and Electro Drift destroys the turtle, so that's that for Kieran's new legendary, but we soon find out that Terrapagos was not actually at full power. Kieran needs to terastallize it. He does, and that That's more what I thought it'd be. And here is the hidden treasure of Area 0. It blasts Kieran, but our Koraidon shields him from it. Kieran tries to withdraw Terrapagos, but is blocking it and destroys his Master Ball. Oh damn, things are going down. We now have a big battle with Terrapagos, but we're not doing any damage to it, and its new move Terra Star Power looks insane. We terrestrialize our Miraidon as it has a shield, and we break through it eventually, but Terrapagos absorbs all our Terra energy each time and takes it away. Kieran's refusing to help us, and this thing is just tanking everything and dishing out serious damage. Even our level 100 legendary is struggling. We keep terrestrializing and breaking its shield, but it just immediately destroys it. We now cheer on Kieran, and he gets up the courage to finally help us and sends out his Hydrapple. Terrapagos actually changes its type, which is cool, but a Terra Starstorm takes down Miraidon. I decide to terrestrialize my starter and end the battle with it. We Torch Song to break his shields as Hydrapple Dragon cheers us, pumping us up, but it actually takes down our Skeledirge. So it's up to Roaring Moon to end this. With a Dragon Claw and a Thunder from Dragonite, we defeat Terrapagos, and now it can go inside a portal. And Kieran's actually cheered up and changed his mind and cheers us on to catch it. So I throw a Dive Ball, and with this, we catch Terrapagos the Legendary. Kieran finally lets it all go, and so does Carmine, and with that, we head back to Blueberry Academy. What a day. Kieran apologises to us and asks us if we can be friends again. Sure mate, no problem. And with that, we've officially completed the storyline of the hidden treasure of Area 0. And technically, that's the last of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but for us, it's not over yet. We have to finish the DLC, so let's get cracking. The first thing we do is we go and get the Briar's book. Our Terra Orb has changed in colour too due to the exposure with Terrapagos. There's also Stellar type Pokemon spawning all over the terrarium too, so that's cool. I might have pronounced a few words wrong, but you guys always let me know in the comments if I have, so yeah, go ahead and go for me again this time, because I'm a northern British guy and sometimes I just say things a bit weird. We then go talk to Amaris, and she tells us Kieran has withdrew from the Elite Four, and with this gives us a supplement to power up our Koraidon. That unlocks flying for all over the place, not just this DLC, the base game, and the Teal Mask too. But as we already saw earlier, I'm not the best pilot. Now we go to the League dorm room and we meet up with Cyrano. We can invite people around, but the main feature we need to do is boosting the biodiversity of each biome, and it's going to cost us a lot of BP. So it's time to go do tasks and fill up the Pokedex. While grinding, we add a Dodrio to the team, and then we add a Kanto Tauros as well. We join a group to help grind up the BP, and then we add a Galarian Slowpoke to the team, a Golurk, we catch a Magby. At Chargestone Cavern, we can catch a Joltik, we can catch a Minun, we get an Alolan Vulpix, and an Alolan Sandshrew as well. We catch a Gramble, and while Turtwig is hatching, I swear that's a shiny Sandshrew. I run over, and it is a shiny Sandshrew. I'm the first one to react to 4 because we were all grouped together there as well. And that's my first shiny of the new DLC. We evolve it immediately with an Ice Stone, and then we catch a Snubbull. We catch a Matang, we need a Duraludon, a Dewpider, a Araquanid, a Whimsicott, and an Alolan Muck. That was a lot of catching. With this, I finally grinded enough BP to upgrade all my domes. That's 12,000 in total you need. This allows me to catch even more, and most importantly, the starters. So back to filling the Pokedex we go. The first starter I find is a Rowlet, then we get a Charmander, then we pick up a random Blitzel too. Then we get one of my favourites, a Totodile. Just around from Totodile is a Snivy. We then get a Zebstrika. We can also find a Sobble hiding here as well. We fly to another zone, and this is where we can catch a Squirtle, a Treecko, we can catch a Fennekin, then we get a Tepig and a Litten too. We then have to keep swapping areas where we can get even more starters. We find a Piplup, a Beldum, Oshawott, we get a Chimchar, Scorbunny, and Chespin. There's only a few more left to get now. We've actually done a lot of catching. The last few we get are Torchic and a Poplio. We're making a massive dent in the decks now, not many more to go. Also, I found this random shiny Milcery roaming about. That's getting evolved. We also catch a Chikorita, and I decided to take care of some of the evolutions now, and I involved all my Pokemon. I chose not to show this as there was honestly quite a lot, and I just sat there feeding them candies over and over until I evolved them all to fill up my decks. I take some time to contribute all my BP I've collected now. This includes us unlocking stuff like throwing styles, unlocking an item printer, unlocking photo events, unlocking extra sounds. We get redesigning rooms, an upgrade to the lock-on feature, and this allows you to see like the gender and things like that of Pokemon you've already catched. We also need to start inviting guests, so I start doing that as well. Now we finally registered 200 Pokemon to the decks, we can unlock a certain side quest. If we go to the Savannah Rest area, Perrin will give us a quest to check out Gouging Fire and Raging Bolt. With that, we fly to Area 0 and we encounter the Paradox legendaries. Now we can catch the best one, by far, Raging Bolt first. Look at it. And at the top of the waterfall, if we fly up there, we meet Gouging Fire, another brilliant one. These ones trump Violet ones, I don't care what anyone says. And that's our last one to catch. After a few Ultra Balls, we catch Gouging Fire. Now I think it's time to finish up the Pokedex. So I trade for some evolutions with some great help from more Ryan Hardy and the BP Gamer. Thank you guys, make sure you check them out. We then spend a bit of time cleaning up my decks. I had to catch everything fresh. This took a long time. I didn't have Pokemon home, unfortunately for me. This just leaves one Pokemon left to catch to complete the DLC, and I left it for last, Cyndaquil. If we use a fire sandwich to make it spawn, because honestly it's very hard to get otherwise, we can get our last Pokemon hidden away in a little cave, and that's Cyndaquil. With this, we evolve it to its max level, and then we go speak to the director again. We get our mark of completion, the diploma, and that means we've officially completed the Indigo Disk, and I've completed all my objectives, and I've practically done everything you really can. Apart from inviting people around, and then obviously I've got quite a lot of the legendaries I can catch, but they're not part of the decks. I'm just going to do that in my free leisure time. But honestly, this was a blast, and I hope you guys enjoyed coming on this journey with me too. I tried to make it quick. I didn't want to drag it out into like sort of an hour-long playthrough. I just wanted to give you, you know, like a nice, shortish kind of condensed run of event. Not put in too much spoiler stuff, but obviously include the bigger stuff. So I hope I managed to do that okay for you. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're still here watching. I do appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.